Hey guys, this is Juan with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast to let you know that this episode is brought to you by San Marcos Mexican Restaurants located right here at 2301 Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Don't forget to check out their $5 Margarita Wednesdays and their $2 tequila shots. And don't forget $6.99 lunch specials Monday through Friday. Sit down and have a great meal with even better customer service. And let Abel know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you and get 10% off your order. San Marcos Mexican Restaurant. It's the only restaurant of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.
You like that, old man? You want a piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love beats never having to say you're sorry.
You do? You shoot your eye out, kid.
I answered. And don't call me Shirley.
There's no crying in baseball. This is wrong, bitch. Hey, the Schwartz baby.
I am the father.
At you, my pretty.
Take your stinking paws off me.
May the force be with you.
Here's Johnny.
This is my legacy.
Happy Monday, moviegoers. Welcome to episode 184. Welcome. We are technically on the road to the Oscars, and welcome to the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew, the guys. Zach.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Edward.
Hello, how's it going, folks?
As we are here to review and talk Rocky, how's everybody's week? Zach, good week?
Going good. How about you guys?
Real good, actually. You know, so far so good. We'll see how the rest of it pans out.
It was a Rocky week.
Oh.
But ain't nothing we can't handle, nothing we can't look back at and say, pleased to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Hey, Adrian.
Thank you for everybody out there making the Batman the most downloaded episode that we've ever had. Appreciate it 10 times. We love you 5,000, if that makes any sense.
So we're just going to cross universes, I guess.
We're going to cross universes. But it was a fun episode, fun movie, guys. Go check it out. It's still in theaters. If you're balling on a budget, just wait 5 more weeks, and you can watch it on HBO Max. It's definitely worth the wait and worth the watch. But you guys can listen to that episode wherever you listen to podcasts at. Anchor, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, and now thanks to the Prescribed Films Network, you can listen to us there. A bunch of other great podcasts. The Movie Defenders, Attack of the Killer Podcast, which a big congratulations to them because they are now sponsored by the one and only Shudder.
Oh, nice.
So give them a big old congratulations, and we can hope to follow in their footsteps. We're making a pretty good mark. I want to thank everybody out there who's ever liked, downloaded, shared any of the stuff that we do. It truly is like an honor for you guys. We're hitting 7,000-8,000 downloads a week. We're just going higher. Like how Creed says, we're going higher and higher. So just keep it going. Keep supporting your Cine-Men Movie Podcast. And
you're the real MVP.
I really cannot wait to see what we're gonna. 2022 is gonna dig into a lot of stuff. So
one day, even though we talk shit about them, Oscars is going to support us.
They will. Speaking of, guys, you know what? We're on the road to the Oscars. We're literally 2 full weeks away from the Oscars. This episode and next week's episode, and then the episode after that is all dedicated to that award. Truly, we do not agree with some of the movies that they nominate, but you gotta respect the award.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when they hand out that award for Best Picture, even though you may not like the movie, you may not have even heard of the movie,
and I'll get an angry text message.
Well, we're going to talk about the BFAA or whatever the hell was this past weekend. The BAFTA, yeah, Gesundheit. We're going to talk about those, okay, in movie news. And I just think, you know what? It's a great award.
Yeah.
I mean, we joke on here a lot, but it is truly like, if you're a movie fan, if you're a movie goer, if you're a hardcore film buff, this is your NBA Finals. This is your Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is your World Series. Uh, and some directors and movies may not say that they don't care about being or having that title, Best Picture. But guess what? If your movie wins Best Picture, that movie is nominated or is cemented in history forever.
Yeah, it joins a class that even though he might not like it, it's going on Johnny's.
It's going
wall.
on my Oscar wall. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, listen to the Batman wherever you listen to podcasts at. The social media, we said it last week, but a big congratulations to Michael for winning our Batman giveaway. You win 1, 2, 3 Batman wooden plaques. You're gonna win a $25 San Marcos gift certificate, a 6-pack of OKC soda, some swag from Rodeo Cinema, some posters from CDR Electronics. So you're walking away with a nice, girthy giveaway, and for free. For what? Just for listening
to the
and
show.
following us on the social media. So
See, dear listeners, when you listen to us, you get rewarded.
we reward you for the listen. But Zach, I think you have some stuff to get into at Rodeo Cinema.
Take you back. Take you back.
Hey guys, this is Zach with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, here to talk to you about our good friends over at Rodeo Cinema. Like you just heard, our dear listener that won the some swag, he's going to go probably check them out and see what is currently showing at Oklahoma City's unique non-for-profit art house movie theater. This coming Friday, March the 18th, they're showing the new A24 movie X. For good things about it, Johnny, I'm sure you'll eventually buy it and put it in your collection.
A24?
Yes. And they got a lot of other good stuff going on over there. So go support like a good organization and a great group of guys. Rodeo Cinema, located on 2221 Exchange Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, in the stockyards for local listeners. And tell them that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you.
Not a lot of stuff that I want to bring up in some recent movie news. Zach, I know you have the some of the big winners from the BAFTAs this past weekend. But one of the big topics that I want to get into, because we didn't talk about it last week because it just broke like Wednesday or Thursday, all the DC movies, guys, got pushed back by months. So now Flash is not going to come out until June 2023.
Are you okay?
Only because the Flash now falls on the exact release date and anniversary of Tim Burton's Batman.
There you go.
True fact.
There you go.
And then I think Shazam we now get for Christmas.
Yeah, I think it's going up against Avatar too.
Yeah. Aquaman I think is now March. And Shazam, or not Shazam, Black Adam is October, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
Shazam, guys, I'm sorry.
That's not really one I'm looking forward to.
Well, I think it's going to get murdered by Avatar 2.
If it comes out.
It's coming out. I think Avatar is going to just blow it out of the water. Unfortunately, I think, that's a bad DC move, I think. And then I want to get you guys' take, because you guys all have this subscription. Discovery Plus is now going to be combined with HBO Max.
Yeah.
So you get your Discovery on, and then you can turn right around and watch Sex and the City.
There you go.
So why not? 1 minute you can watch the turtles flopping and hanging out with the big blue whales. I think that's on Discovery Plus. I'm not so sure. I don't watch it. But then after that, you can watch Tony Soprano kill the fuck out of somebody. All on the same HBO Max.
Do you know if it was like I literally just read this news like 5 minutes ago?
Oh, yeah.
So
that's how up to date your boy is. Okay.
Is HBO Max buying them? Is Discovery Plus buying HBO?
I believe
What is it?
HBO and Warner Brothers purchased Discovery.
So it's going to be Warner Brothers and Disney fighting for all the different content now.
That's the way it looks like it's going to go.
Oh,
but you know who the real winner is? Peacock. Peacock is just sitting in the wing, and they are slowly developing. They have more sports than anybody. They're starting to develop their own local programming.
Yep.
They're also, I heard that they're in talks to kind of join forces with Paramount Plus. I'm not too sure. So that would mean that you could get Yellowstone on both Paramount Network and
which makes sense.
Peacock.
But And they're still doing, I don't know how much longer Marry Me is going to be on there, but they're still doing the in theater same day release thing.
Peacock is, yeah.
So
if it's a Universal,
if it's a Universal movie, I think they're still doing it.
so yeah, they're still doing the NBC. What else is? So do you think they'll do that with Halloween Ends, or do you
Probably.
think, by then it'll be done, or is it on a year by year basis?
I think it's a year by year basis. Right now, they're still doing it. I don't know what the next. I guess Ambulance is the next Universal movie, the Michael Bay movie.
No, that would be good, worth watching.
So we'll just have to see if that one drops on Peacock. But if that one doesn't, probably by the time Halloween Ends comes out, it probably won't be.
Have you seen Marry Me yet? Don't answer that, Zach, because we are getting ready to get into some recent watches. But before we get into some recent watches, and other news, guys, some sad news. It's not movie news, but it's entertainment news, wrestling news. I'm a huge wrestling fan. Scott Hall, legendary professional wrestler, also known as Razor Ramon, went in for hip surgery this past weekend because he broke his hip about 2 weeks ago, and a blood clot appeared, and he suffered 3 massive heart attacks back to back to back. And he's been on life support Sunday and all day Monday. His family made the announcement that once his family is there and intact with him, they are going to pull the plug. And he actually, as we're recording this at 6:32 Central Time, they just pulled the plug on him. So now it's just kind of like a matter of time. And if you guys know me, or if you guys were big wrestling fans, like, this was the Attitude Era. Like, he may not have been in WWE at the time with the Attitude Era, but you had NWO, DX, WCW, WWE back in the day, and it was like the NWO was everybody's childhood.
Plus, he was part of the Outsiders with Kevin Nash.
Yeah, so like, this is just kind of like bumming news, honestly. Like, that's kind of like a piece of somebody's childhood or anybody's childhood, just kind of taken away. Kind of sad news, man. Even Ed, you grew up watching a bunch of WCW back in the day too, and
Goldberg was my favorite.
So this kind of hits some feels. Thoughts and prayers to Scott Hall's family and all of his friends, and good positive vibes sent that way. And you know what, man? We'll throw a good old click sign up, and I got the pleasure of meeting Scott Hall in 2019. It was only for like 5 minutes for a cup of coffee, but when I was in New York City for WrestleMania weekend, and what a fun conversation this dude was about to throw up on us. Like, didn't know us from anything, and was just super down to earth. Asked us how the flight was, asked us if this was our first time in New York City or our first time attending one of these events, and tremendous dude. You know what? For somebody who technically doesn't have to be there, I know he's probably just there maybe for payday or the experience. But meeting 80, 90 to 500 people in one day and taking 5 minutes out of his day to talk to every single one of those people, pretty cool, man. So, throwing it up, and thoughts and prayers.
Announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey guys, this is Juan with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, letting you know this episode is also brought to you by CDR Electronics. CDR serves the OKC metro area with the best value for your electronics. They pay the most, so you can trade in and use that money or cash towards something special for you or for somebody else. Don't forget to visit them online at cdrokc.com or in store at 1604 West I-240 Service Road right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And they have everything from movies, video games, systems, computers, laptops, TVs, everything you need to get your electronics going. And if you want to build up that girthy physical media collection, then go for it and check them out. They have great Blu-rays and 4Ks. CDR Electronics, the only electronics store of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. All right, guys, let's get into some recent watches. Ed, have you checked anything out recently that you'd like to share with the listeners?
So this one might be a little embarrassing for some people. It's cool though.
Dude, you just told us that you listened to Letterkenny or watched Letterkenny a few weeks ago.
I don't see how that's embarrassing.
If
you got a problem with Canada's Gooses, you've got a problem with me, and I'll help you sort that one out.
It just got violent,
It
folks.
did get violent. Take it easy, man.
Take it easy. Nah, fuck. So, The Adventures of Pluto Nash. You ever heard of it?
Zach, what did you watch this week? You're right. That's embarrassing as all get out.
I told you, you know.
The Adventures of How Did You Not Fall Asleep During That Fucking Movie?
Boss, like the hell.
Just out of curiosity, like,
what made you want to
Yeah.
watch that?
yeah.
It was on TV. I've watched it.
What
before.
channel?
One of the stars or whatever. Or yeah, you know.
Well,
on,
when you get done, immediately go home and cancel your cable.
hey, it's not mine.
You know what? Did you watch the whole thing from start to finish? Roughly, yes?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
I was going to say, what would one give a star rating of the Pluto Nash?
probably a 4 or a 3. I mean,
Next episode?
a couple of it's okay.
You're on your own on that one.
Well, today, this episode is basically about the adventures of the Pluto Nash. And I am by myself today.
With Captain Morgan.
Hey,
On top of that, I did check out The Batman again.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You still have one
Appreciate
more.
you.
One
I
more to
know.
go.
Aw.
Catch up with Big Daddy.
This one dude saw it 30 times in a week. So
Good for
you
him.
have
I
27
do have
more.
27 more. You know what?
Yeah.
That guy is probably at home in his basement right now.
Probably 20. Anyways, I checked it out, but with 40x.
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Nice. How was
But,
how was the 4DX experience? Was it worth the $25 or however much it is?
I think so.
Yeah.
$20 and some change, basically.
Damn.
I think so. Yeah, I really do. Personally, like, unless you have like maybe epilepsy or pretty bad motion sickness, then I wouldn't recommend it to you. Other than that, though, I think everybody should try it out at least once because it's pretty cool. You know?
I think I'm gonna wait for Fast 10.
Yeah, that might be a good one. I mean, it might make the movie actually watchable. You know, getting thrown around left and right. You
Or
know?
maybe
Wake you up
Doctor,
every so
or
often.
maybe the multiverse. Now
Ooh.
what? Hold on a second. Does
Yeah.
the effects take away from paying attention to the movie?
No,
No.
not for me. Actually, there's still a few things, you know, like
Maybe
progressively
it would make Power of the Dog more entertaining.
I doubt
running
it.
with the dog.
Or like
I don't know.
when Benedict Cumberbatch wipes himself with mud, maybe you get mud thrown at you or something.
Maybe, you never know. But I mean, like, for instance, okay, spoiler alert for just like 5 seconds.
What?
What? Basically, when the engine was in the behind the scenes for the
We still have people that have not
yeah.
seen the Batman yet.
That's why I said spoiler alert.
Can't do spoiler alert on Rocky episode
You know.
talking about the Batman.
So I thought that little thing was kind of cool.
Oh, there's an engine. You ruined the whole movie.
There's
know.
a ninja.
Oh, he's called Batman. He's with the shadows.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. This episode is way off, by the way. We're talking about recent watches. We went from Pluto Nash to the Batman. Jeez.
You're welcome.
At least the conversation got better. So
You're welcome.
That's true. What else did you check out?
Honestly, that was it. Just,
About it?
Yeah.
So he's going to recommend the Batman,
Yes.
everybody.
If you want to watch Pluto Nash, that's up to you.
Don't listen to Ed.
Go for it, I guess.
Johnny's like, I'm done with this shit. My turn.
I didn't tell you to, though.
So, since the Batman, I checked out the original West Side Story, wanting to watch it before watching the new one. I thought it was okay, plus I did two birds, one stone. I got to watch West Side Story plus an Oscar-winning Best Picture that I've never seen. It was okay. I mean, I think the new one is going to be maybe a little bit better.
Blu-ray tomorrow.
I watched The Eye, getting ready for Friday the 14th podcast. It was a pretty decent watch, honestly. If you go back and listen to it, I kind of dogged the movie. I gave it a 1 out of 5. I didn't like it. I don't know, but go back and listen to the episode. Checked out Rocky for today's episode. Turning Red came out on Disney Plus. I checked that out. It was okay. I'd give it a 6. I'm really sad because it was a Disney Pixar movie. A, it didn't get a theatrical release, and B, it just was not very good to me. What was surprisingly good was American Underdog with Zachary Levi, Anna Paquin, and Dennis Quaid. It really does feel like a cheesy Christian movie. But I gotta tell you, Zachary Levi was believable. I liked Anna Paquin's performance. To me, for this to be a faith believed in movie, or I don't know what they're technically called. I liked it. This is the first one I've seen since like Courage Under Fire or something like that. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
But yeah, checked it out. Pretty good. I'd give it 7 stars. 6 stars. Dude, I started season 4 of Yellowstone.
Hell yeah.
It's so good.
Hell yeah.
It's so good. I just finished the episode where oh damn. I can't
Spoilers for Yellowstone.
I think
season 4.
I think I'll wait.
Okay.
I really think I want to dig into it one day. I don't know how, Zach, we're gonna have to come up with like some kind of formula. Ed, you too, if you want to talk TV shows one day, maybe even as a bonus episode once a week. I would love to just talk about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I think it's
That'd be awesome.
It's a really good episode. It's a really good season. I'm like four episodes in.
You can't stop, can you?
I can't stop. The Kingsman.
What do you think?
I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was decent. I got to remember that these movies are kind of raunchy, rated R comedies instead of a deep down serious action movie.
Yeah.
So I got Walmart has an exclusive where it comes with like a bonus disc about like a documentary or something. But unfortunately, the documentary's on DVD, so
He got pitched.
Might as well just throw it in the fucking trash. But the movie was okay. It was a good first time watch. The only thing that hurts it is I don't know if I would ever watch it again.
Yeah.
Because it's so far in between the first one that it's like unless they come out with a second one right after World War One, because this movie is based on the World War One era.
Yeah.
So unless they come out with one right after this, I don't have the desire to ever rewatch it. So
to me, I thought it was actually a little bit more cartoonish than the other two.
Yeah, it felt a little cartoonish, but I give it a 5.
Yeah.
Right there in between. So, but that's my recent watches. I would recommend The Kingsman if you like the other movies. American Underdog. I almost watched the 355, but I didn't get into that this week. I'll probably watch it and have it review for you guys next week. Zach, what about you, sir? What'd you get into?
For me, it was kind of a busy week. The only thing I got to check out was Turning Red on Disney Plus.
What did you think? Same thoughts?
I like it. I liked it better than you, obviously. I mean, sounds like. I thought it was
not better than Canto.
No, it wasn't better than Canto. It wasn't better than Soul, but I thought it was just a good message for kids. And I mean, it's basically ultimately the story is basically about puberty and just learning to become who you're supposed to be. So yeah, I would give it an 8, honestly.
An 8?
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe I gotta go back and rewatch. I don't know. Some of these brand new Disney movies to me are just so hit or miss on the first watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but we will definitely get into it. But now, Zach, you got some facts? Zach's facts by Zach.
All right, so top 4 facts about Rocky. Number 1, Rocky's dog, Butkus, was actually Sylvester Stallone's actual real dog in real life that you see in the movie. The ice rink scene was originally written to feature 300 extras, but the production couldn't afford that many people. When Stallone turned up to shoot the scene, to his horror, there was actually only one extra. So Stallone hastily threw together the scene as it exists in today's film. When shooting the scenes in the meat locker, when he punches the slabs of beef, Stallone punched the meat so hard for so long that he actually flattened out his knuckles. And so when he actually makes a fist, all of his knuckles are actually just flattened. So
nice.
After the end of filming, Stallone kept the 2 turtles, Cuff and Link, and as of June 2019, he still has them and they're alive and well.
Nice.
So.
Is it Gobble Gobble Motherfucker or starring?
Here's Johnny.
Don't forget, guys, Friday the 14th podcast presents UHD this Wednesday, the day after tomorrow, as me and the bad guy Nick H talk all about The Pulse with Kristen Bell. You guys can check that movie out on Tubi. And then this past week, we talked about The Eye, starring Jessica Alba from 2008. Me, Nick, and Mr. Fuentes talked about it. It was honestly a fun conversation, even though the movie might not have been, keen. It's always a really good time to sit down with those two guys and just have a really good, fun conversation about really any movie. We also kind of talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre a little bit and the Batman. So you kind of got almost like 3 little mini reviews in one episode. So go back and check them out. You can also check them out on the social media and wherever you listen to podcasts at. Friday the 14th podcast. Great guys, great episodes. Go check them out.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho!
All right, guys, don't forget that this episode is also brought to you by OKC Soda Company. It's the craft soda company of Oklahoma with super unique flavors like strawberry milkshake, blueberry, and orange cream soda, made with natural pure cane sugar and all natural flavors. You can visit them at okcsodacompany.com or get you a 6-pack at your local Homeland stores right here in the metro. And don't forget, it's the only soda of the Cine-Men movie podcast. All right, guys, this week we are talking our top 5 Sylvester Stallone movies. So it can be anything, animated, non-animated, anything he came out with. We could even put the Italian Stallion on there from way back in the day. So whatever you want to put on there, this is your top 5 Sylvester Stallone films. And play along. I didn't announce it on last week's episode, so send us in your top 5 Sylvester Stallone movies, and we'll read them out next week right here on the pod. So, does anybody have any honorable mentions?
No.
Yeah, Rocky 3, Rocky Balboa, and then the official honorable mention, The Suicide Squad.
Nice. I only have 3, and First Blood, Bullet to the Head, and then my official honorable mention is going to be Escape Plan. Because literally, other than the Expendables, this is really the first full-length feature film that you get Arnold and Sylvester in, and honestly, Escape Plan was a pretty damn good action flick. So that's going to be my official honorable mention. Zach, sir, go ahead and start us off.
Number 5 for me is one that actually got to see this in the theater. It's kind of a fun experience. I really hadn't seen Sly outside of Rocky, Rambo, The Expendables. Number 5 is one of your honorable mentions, Bullet to the Head, with him.
It's a fun movie.
Jason Momoa, Song Kang, Christian Slater. I thought it was kind of a fun thriller, one of those type films where someone gets murdered and it kind of leads to like a bigger overarching plot. A lot of action, surprisingly a lot of bloody violence, but that's what you would want with Stallone kicking ass. So I thought it was one of Jason Momoa's early movies, and I thought he played a pretty good villain. So number 5 is Bullet to the Head.
It's a great movie. I honestly wanted to fit it in somewhere in the top 5, but I just didn't. Some of these movies are just sentimental to me as far as Stallone go. Number 5 for me is going to be Cliffhanger from 1993. He is just he's a badass in this movie. He's a Rocky Mountain climber, and it's kind of like San Andreas, but it doesn't deal with a natural disaster. He's kind of like he goes out and saves people, like how Dwayne Johnson was in that movie. But he's got a good cast.
Did you ever see Vertical Limit? You remember that movie?
Vertical Limit. Who's in it? It sounds familiar.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're kind of stuck on the mountainsides and they're trying to rescue a group of people.
Well, this is different. This is a botched midair heist results in a suitcase full of cash being searched by various groups throughout the Rocky Mountains. So his love interest gets abducted, and John Lithgow is the villain in this movie.
Mm.
And John Lithgow is simply amazing in this film. It's also got Michael Rooker in it, so I highly recommend it. It's a fun movie for me. Sylvester Stallone, cliffhanger, fun movie. Number 5 for me. Edward, what is your number 5?
Number 5, I'm gonna put some cheese on it.
You haven't
This is
said
a
that
very
in a long
cheesy
time.
movie. Judge Dredd.
Nice.
I
I'm surprised you like Judge Dredd or seen it.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of got a video game-esque feel to it, you know. But yeah, if you've never seen it and you have interest in some 80s flicks, check this one out.
90s movie. It's from 1995.
I don't know why, but dude, it doesn't remind me of a 90s flick at all.
That's a shame. Fun movie, though. I agree with it.
5, 4.
Little technical difficulty. We're not going to go through 5 again. Zach, sir, what's your number 4?
Number 4. I will admit that this is a bad movie, but Johnny, you and me got to see this in the theater,
Oh,
and
dude.
it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
But see, I don't know. You can say that if it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie. But if you have fun watching it,
Yeah, and that's
the action is outlandish, I think it's a good movie.
yeah, and I mean, and just in our minds, like we walked out of there was like that was awesome.
Yeah.
Rambo: Last Blood.
He broke that dude's collarbone.
Oh, we were laughing so hard, and the violence is like so. You know, a lot of people say it's just so grotesque and over the top, but like there's something very refreshing to see somebody do something bad to bad people.
But I
that's the
think-
whole point of the movie.
I think today's generation, when they go in and see it, Stallone didn't cover up what he did in the 80s.
No.
With First Blood. You know,
Yeah.
those movies are etched in just his action. Like,
Yeah.
That's what his bread and butter was back in the day.
Yeah, even the Rambo from 2006 where he's in
a fun movie.
Burma. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very fun film.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good number 4. Have you ever rewatched it yet?
No.
It was a fun rewatch, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give this movie some damn justice. Ed, number 4 for me is gonna be Judge Dredd. I have been debating whether or not to be an episode, but I don't think if Zach were to give this movie like a 3, I would have to come across the table and fucking donkey punch him in the ass. This is a fun movie, and I think it would even be a fun first watch for Zach. But Judge Dredd, it's a really fun movie. You have hillbilly androids in the movie. You have backstabbing from family. Ahmad Asante is in it. Who doesn't love Ahmad Asante? Am I right? Rob Schneider, hilarious fucking guy. Max von Sydow is in it. Diane Lane. I love Judge Dredd. Ed, you said it was cheesy. It is cheesy. A lot of people call it one of his worst movies, but I think Judge Dredd is just a fun action based off of a comic novel. So
Yep.
you do get that sense of 90s comic book feel to it, but I think it rocks, and I think Judge Dredd deservingly so. We should talk about it one day. So Judge Dredd's number 4 for me. So Ed, sir, what do you have at number 4?
Number 4 for me is The Expendables, the original one. I actually no, that was number 3 that I took them to see my grandparents to see at the theater.
Oh, nice.
But
what
yeah,
do they think of 3? They like it?
Yeah, they thought it was fun. They thought it was cool. They've always been action fans, so I mean, what was it? The Family, I think.
With Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Mhm.
They love that movie. My mom's parents do.
Good movie.
Even with all the cursing in it, my grandma does not like cursing at all. So I mean, different stuff like that. She just thought it was awesome. But
Nice.
yeah, Expendables always kind of a fun thing. It basically gets some of the 80s and 90s and even some of the at the time more current action stars together and sees what they can kind of do together. So yeah, it's kind of a fun movie.
3.
Zach, sir, what do you have at number 3?
Number 3 movie we're going to talk about today, Rocky.
Number 3 for me is going to be from 1997, Copland. It's about a corrupt cop system, and old Stallone is the honorable sheriff. Also also starring Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta,
He was starving.
Robert De Niro, Michael Rappaport. A lot of people we kind of forget about that guy. I don't know if anybody else remembers Michael Rappaport. Zach? No. Directed by James Mangold.
Oh.
So it's a fun movie. Copland, highly recommend it. A really good, hard, rated R movie. So that sets up my number 3. Ed, where do you have it 3, sir?
Rambo: Last Blood. It was kind of a fun movie that I don't know. It's shown, just because he's an older dude doesn't mean he ain't got skills. That just means he's had time to master those skills, and that means that he's had time to think about how to master and use those skills. With the tunneling and all kinds of different stuff like that, that was some smart badassery going on, as well as why he did it was also a very, very cool thing. So yeah, Rambo: Last Blood.
Zach, number 2.
Number 2, Ed, you did the first one, so I'm going to do the second one, the Expendables 2. That one I thought had a little bit more of a personal story to that one. And ultimately, I think when you get Jean-Claude Van Damme as the villain, I thought was really cool. Especially the end battle between him and Stallone was thought really well done. And you really want vengeance for what ultimately happens.
Vengeance.
Yeah.
You said Expendables 2?
Yeah.
Nice. I have to rewatch those soon. I really don't remember any of those at all.
I don't remember anything about 3.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm just like, ugh.
3 is the one with Ronda Rousey in it, I think.
Yeah.
And
Mel Gibson as the bad guy.
Oh, nice. Passion of the Christ. Number 2 for me is going to be I don't know if I can say this, but I'm gonna say just Rocky in general. 1 through 6, the whole collection. Rocky, Stallone is Rocky. I think if 2 was his last go around, I'm okay with it, but I wish he would have had a better send off than the way 2 ended. But I think, if it wasn't for Rocky, would Stallone even be Stallone today? So he hit it. He wrote a perfect script. We're gonna get into a little bit later on. But yeah, number 2 for me is just Rocky as a collection. 1 through 6. Edward, number 2 for you?
Number 2 for me is a newer movie. It's about 7 years old now. Creed. I've done an episode on it, but the fact is loved Creed. I thought it was a brilliant uptake on an old classic being brought new, and a trainer for a new upcoming fighter. So yeah, loved it.
Number 1, Zachary. What's your number 1, sir?
Ed's already just said it, Creed. The fact that they were able to, like you said, Ed, just basically not only create a whole new story within the mythology of Creed, but with Rocky, take Rocky and basically reinvent him as a character and just kind of do something new with him. And I thought, Stallone's performance in that, it was just truly, truly something to behold, and he did deserve the Oscar. That's one of those Oscar snubs that still get me to this day. So,
yeah, he should have won it.
You bastards.
Number 1 for me is going to be a sentimental pick because it's the first movie that was introduced Stallone to me. And I know, like, a little fucking 4-year-old should not be watching this movie, but number 1 for me is Demolition Man from 1993. My dad watched this movie religiously, introduced Stallone to me. Also starring Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, Benjamin Bratt. Just a fun movie, man. Dennis Leary is in it, and to me, this is Stallone. Like being frozen in 1993 because he, was such a badass cop that he didn't agree with any of the rules, and then they freeze him and the bad guy Wesley Snipes, and then they both come out of the thawing process, and you know what, they just fuck each other up in the future as well. So a really good action sci-fi flick. Again, number one for me for some sentimental reasons, but I dig the movie Demolition Man. We have got to talk about it sometime this week or this year. It turns 30 next year, guys. So maybe I might hold off till next year, but it's an insane movie. Demolition Man, number one for me. Edward, finish us off. Number one.
Number one. So I'm going back to what I usually don't do, or usually do. I'm not mentioning the current movie. So, my favorite film is going to be Rocky 4 versus Ivan Drago.
He will break you.
I must break you. Yeah, I thought it was just badassery when he gone over. Like, okay, yeah, you killed, a mentor slash friend of mine and all this, but gone into your territory, up in your face, knew he probably was going to get his ass beat, maybe even die, trained in your climate, basically, and beat you. Like, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That's pure badassery, and not only that, but gain the respect of your comrades and your nation.
But we won't mention where Ivan's from.
No, but yeah, that I know that's a movie, but I mean, still badass thing. So yeah.
All right, guys, before we get into today's conversation all about Rocky, we are going to talk Director Talk, new segment debuted at the beginning of the year at the show. Zach, we're going to talk about one John G. Avildsen.
Yep.
Never heard of this director, but it's again a new segment that we brought to the table, brought to the show. We are going to throw a little bit of limelight on the director every single week. Zach, what are some movies that he might have done?
So I didn't even know this, but his two big contributions to film was Rocky, obviously we're talking about today, and he also did The Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
And he actually came back and directed Rocky 5, so he won the director Oscar, then he went and did Rocky 5, so
So he did win. Now,
He won.
He didn't win Oscar, did he, for Best Director?
Yeah, for Rocky.
I know it was nominated for 10 Oscars, only won 3.
Yeah, it won Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Film Editing.
Wow.
So
nice.
So yeah,
I'm surprised it didn't win Best Original Screenplay,
well,
which we're getting into today.
So, Rocky or Karate Kid?
It's got to be Rocky, hands down.
Yeah, Rocky.
I know there's a lot of Karate Kid fans out there, 1, 2, and 3.
We
Get me
just
wrong.
got like 10 8 mils.
Don't get me wrong. We've had a lot of recommendations for us to review the original Karate Kid, especially with the TV show
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai is out. A lot of people want to hear our thoughts on the Karate Kid, so I think we're going to hold off on the thoughts because that sounds like a fun idea as well. I think our last email was actually when we talked about Rear Window. There were some emails in there that I didn't get to dig into, but we had like 2 or 3 Karate Kid mentions. So
nice.
But yeah, that should be fun. Rocky debuted November 21st, 1976 with a budget of $960,000 and it grossed a little over $225 million at the box office. Currently, like Zach said, it does have 3 Oscar wins and 10 nominations. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Road to the Oscars. IMDb has an 8.1. Rotten Tomatoes is at 91%. Meta score is 70%, while Edward and the Google users have it at 91%. So guys, let's talk about the Oscar-winning classic Rocky. A small-time Philadelphia boxer gets his supremely rare chance to fight the world heavyweight champion in a bout in which he strives to go the distance for his self-respect. I love that synopsis, honestly. Starring Sylvester Stallone, Tila Shear, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, Burgess Meredith, Thayer David, also starring, did I say Burt Young? Burt Young's in it. And, directed by John G. Avildsen. let's get into it, guys. Zach, we will start with you. Do you remember the first time you honestly seen Rocky, and how was it revisiting it for the episode? A few short words.
Yeah, the first time I had watched it was my college roommate. He was like a big Rocky fan, and I told him like I think it was like a year or two before Creed came out, so I was just trying to get caught up and everything. Binge them. And I think it was the week of Black Friday, and they had like the whole box set for like $20.
Oh yes.
I was just like, all right, let's just go ahead and buy it.
You still have
And
it?
I do. It's up there with my Creed steelbooks. But truthfully, the first time I watched this movie, like he had such high regard for it, and I was just kind of disappointed by it. I get it's a Best Picture winner. I get kind of like the meaning of it and like the inspiration that this film brings to people. But I was just like, it's not there, man. But on this rewatch, I've seen it one or two more times in its entirety since then, and I get it. Like it really, like I get why people like this movie so much.
Edward, what about you? Have you? Can you remember really the first time that you've seen this? I'm gonna bet that maybe I showed it to you for the first time. I don't know.
I'm 98% sure that's how. It'd either be that or TV.
And then, how was it revisiting it for the episode?
Honestly, I always like this. It's sometimes it's a little slow in places.
We'll get into it for sure.
Not gonna lie, but I mean,
honesty. As long as I have your 110% pure honesty, that's all we want.
But don't get me wrong, it's still that that steak and potatoes right there that you crave. It's still got that beef right there with the side of potatoes for the mashing.
Rocky is one of those amazing movies for me that I have had the rare and distinct honor of having on VHS, DVD, and now Blu-ray. And yeah, Zach, of course, if the 4K hits out, I'm going to pick it up. But I honestly think, you know what? I'm in love with this movie. This, to me, is... I mean, can I say it 2 weeks in a row? This is a comfort movie, again, for me. Honestly, the weekend that I had... Let me tell you guys, personally, on a personal level, I was not looking forward to rewatching Rocky.
Mm.
And then, because you know what? It's kind of like one of those things. If you're going to the doctors and the doctor gives you that speech about eat your vitamins, say your prayers, that's Hulk Hogan, but still, you kind of don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, you've had such a rough week, you don't want to hear all the positivity talk or all the positive talk. So that being said, with the kind of week that I had going into the movie, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm feeling it. And I think I talked to you like a few hours before I watched the movie. And you know what? I sat down. I didn't even get my notebook out like I usually do. I just sat down and watched it. And you know what? From start to finish, it was my comfort movie. And I sat down and just enjoyed the entire watch from start to finish. It did not go slow for me at all. And then afterwards, I haven't done this in a long time with any of these episodes, but after the movie was done, I turned the TV off, complete silence, and then I did my notes. And it was just a complete enjoying film. So we're going to dig into it. I loved the start of the movie. Honestly, if you guys have not seen Rocky, you can get it on HBO Max, right? They're all on HBO Max.
Yep.
Is it just 1 through 6 or the Creed movies too?
1 through 6.
1 through 6 is on HBO Max.
Thanks, HBO Max.
I love the opening. The church fight to me was pure, was real, and you can see him legitly like this is where the struggle begins.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Rico, busting him in the head with a headbutt, and Rocky kind of just goes black and just kicks the shit out of him, just gets on top of him, and and loses it.
And Ed, you can jump in here whenever, but there were, I hadn't seen this movie probably since 2015, so it's been about 6 years. There was stuff in this movie that I forgot even existed, like him being like a collector for like a loan shark. I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was muscle for a loan shark. I forgot that's how he got the jacket.
Yeah.
I did forget about that. I did forget like
his black leather jacket.
Yeah.
Because he's already wearing it in the movie.
I forgot that like.
Or are you talking about the black leather jacket with the tiger on the back?
Maybe the black leather jacket with the tiger.
With the tiger on the back, he buys it in Rocky 2 after he gets all the money from the second fight.
That's true. But I mean, it's just him not breaking the guy's thumb for that matter, just that little bit, losing his locker, being a huge thing, and then
He's
just
yeah.
like,
I mean, the first
know,
20 minutes, he really is down on his luck.
Yeah.
well, no, he spends it though. He's like, you know what? Pay too much for that locker anyways. That's just saving me money. Talking to Adrian, and you can kind of tell like
he's trying to be positive about it.
She's not really interested fully because she's not in that kind of thing. It's not that she doesn't care about.
I also think he overwhelms her though, because in that scene he just rambles, and she's just like she's shy.
Yeah.
She don't really know what to say.
Well, not only that, but I mean, when the dude comes in with the cheesy joke about there's too many moths, not enough flies, so it gets caught up in his windpipe. Like, bro, dang.
Rocky
dude.
was trying to get his Mac on. Don't hate on Rocky.
No.
He was trying to hit all three bases in one day. Okay.
But I mean, talking to his dog in real life, but
Yeah.
the dog over in the crate, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a really really cool little entrance.
So you talk about you forgot he was a collector for Mr. Gasto. What'd you think of I enjoyed the back and forth of the driver and Rocky throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
I
was really hoping for a punch at some point, but I mean,
yeah, you want Rocky to just
knock him out.
So this recent watch for you, Zach, was it almost truthfully like a first time?
It was, because like I said, there were things in this movie like I forgot even like the zoo date. I really thought this was in the first one. But
I
that's
remember
in the
you
second
mentioned that
one.
last week. Yeah. Good bring up.
I forgot how awkward Adrian is, because like there were moments where it's just like it's just not worth it. I mean, truthfully, but
she doesn't open up until after the first date.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna save this.
Are you gonna bring up the?
I'm gonna bring
back to the apartment.
I'm gonna bring it up, guys. They go on the first date. He takes her to the skating rink or the ice rink, and he gives her the whole spiel. And then she goes back, and she's still super, super shy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, yo, come in. Ain't this a face you can trust?"
It's so. I don't know.
She comes back, and they start kissing and making out. I even have it in my notes.
Rapey.
No, I that's not in my notes. Do you guys think Rocky knocked it out of the park that night?
That night, probably not.
After that scene, bro, she's open.
She's like,
and she's
that's true. She's more open. She loses the glasses. She lets her hair down. It's a whole new Adrian.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. Right. But like, here's the thing. Maybe that's why these two characters, you want them to succeed, because they're both on the same level of awkwardness. He's talking too much. She's way too shy. But
honestly, how much can we also relate to both characters?
Yeah, that's true.
So it makes it really fun and super simple to just get involved. And Ed, do the math, because I know you're super good at numbers. 1976 to now, how old is this movie? So while you do that, I'm going to talk to Zach.
56.
Golly, see, Cyborg, 3PO. So with this movie being 50, get out of here, 56? Is he serious?
I'm about to find out.
1946.
It's 46 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
You're 10 years old.
So still 46 years old.
This movie's almost 50 years old.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of review we can do with a almost 50-year-old movie we're going to do in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But if you have not seen Rocky, please pause this episode at 53 minutes and go back and watch this on the HBO Max and just come back, because I don't know if there's much to spoil, but guys, the performances, getting introduced to Paulie. What do you guys think about the introduction to Paulie? You want to love him, but you want to hate him.
Yeah.
He seems like a greaseball. I mean, honestly, just like, because he preys on his sister. You know that he takes advantage of her kind-heartedness, and that she's awkward. She doesn't stick up for herself, and he knows that. So he takes full advantage of it.
Well, and he basically forces Paulie forces Adrian to go on the date with Rocky, and you can tell even Rocky's just like, she doesn't want to go. Don't force her to do this.
How does he force her, Zach?
Basically throws the turkey out of the house and says, "Go."
But it's Thanksgiving, and then he takes the turkey out, and you can tell. I don't know if hopefully this was fake, but the turkey still looked a little pink. You can tell it wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And he's over there just gnawing on the turkey leg anyway.
It wasn't ready.
And you want the bird? Go out in the alley and eat the bird. But I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Polly.
Yeah.
Hits on a lot of different levels. And Polly is just throughout the entire series. And I eventually want to touch each Rocky, every single movie.
Creed 3 is coming out.
It's true. It's damn true. But I just don't know. Throughout the whole series, Paulie is, to me, he was one of those guys that you had to love him at some points. And then, unfortunately, is it Creed?
Yeah. He's in all 6.
Except
and then
for
when you get to
Creed.
Creed, yeah.
So in that scene, when you see this tombstone, it kind of just hits you that a certain way.
Yeah. But he's always been, and if you remember more than me, please. He's always been an asshole though, all through the series, right?
He has always been an asshole. Even in Rocky 3, they move, and then he brings up some big stank about in 3. Rocky buys the big castle, and they move Mick in, but they don't move Paulie in. So Paulie throws that in Rocky's face later on down the line.
Yeah.
And believe me, these movies are etched in my mind forever because of how many times I've watched them. But at least in this first film, Ed, I'll kind of agree with you. He is more of a greaseball than somebody that you kind of fall in love with. Like the scene where he bangs the TV and the lamp and the china on Christmas Eve.
Well, it's because he's taking advantage of everything he can. And I mean, he's greasy as in the fact that like he'll destroy stuff, expect you to buy it back, and then destroy it again, just because he knows you won't with his ass. And it's just like he finds out with Rocky, you can go to a point, but don't get me wrong, he can go off on you and probably kill you if he really wants to. So you might want to chill.
I didn't surprise Zach that you didn't bring up Frank Stallone being one of the singers in the Hobo Band.
I remembered that.
Yeah.
It looks just like Rocky, but that song, fun song.
And this is one of those rare occurrences where like the main cast all got nominated for an Oscar. Stallone for Best Actor, Talia Shire for Actress, and then you get 2 supporting actor nods from Burt Young and Burgess Meredith. And that's just one of those things that is so rare for a movie to do that. And I mean, you could really make an argument that any one of them could have won. I really thought that, to be honest, I always thought that Stallone directed the first film, but he directed like 2 through.
He was supposed
2
to.
through 4.
He wanted to, but the only way the studio would buy the script is if he did not direct it.
Yeah, and they also didn't want him to star in it either. It was originally going to be Robert Redford. That was going to be Rocky.
Because let's face the facts. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the name Italian Stallion came from Sylvester Stallone's porno video from back in the day.
Yeah.
So I can see why they maybe did not want him to star in the movie.
Right.
Give or take, very good reasons to.
Yeah.
But I think he, again,
he basically reinvented the name.
He knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And this movie, man, just it hit a lot of feels, man. Just being down on your luck, never giving up. And in the synopsis that I've read, I wanted to pick that certain one because I loved how a lot of people think the movie's about him trying to win the world championship. It's not. A lot of people think it's about him trying to have a great relationship with Adrian. It's not. A lot of people think it's about him getting the manager that he's always wanted in Mick. It's not. The synopsis said it best. It's about Rocky wanting to go all rounds with Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all the movie's about. That's the MacGuffin in the movie is his feeling, his gut. He wanted to go all
He wanted to go the
rounds
distance. Yeah.
with Apollo Creed. He even says it in the night before the fight with Adrian in the bed. He's like, you know what? I don't know that I can beat this guy. He's the best. He's of the best. He's world heavyweight champion for a reason. But all I pray is I just want to go and do the rounds.
And I think that's probably the most powerful scene in the movie where, every other boxing movie would be like, yeah, I got this, and that. It's just like, no, I mean, I don't even think I don't know if I'll be able to make one round with this guy. And it's just a real human moment.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, literally, it's more the fact that, kind of like you said, it's your self-respect. And, I mean, it's not more the fact that, I got to beat this guy. It's, I got to show to myself that I can do this, that I can actually be in there with him. And there's rounds that Rocky starts winning later on. I think like the fourth or fifth round is the first one he wins, and go from there.
What do you guys think of the love-hate relationship? Also, Rocky has that so much in his life. You see the picture of his parents in the mirror. You see the picture of young baby Rocky. He has a perfect relationship almost with Adrian in the first movie. He's got a love-hate relationship with Paulie, and he's got a love-hate relationship with Mick. What did you guys think of the tension between Mick throughout the whole movie? And what did you think of the great late Burgess Meredith, who was
The Penguin.
the Penguin,
Yeah.
which we just got done talking about the Batman last
Yeah.
week. He's the original Penguin, and what did you think of just
And-
his pure acting in this movie?
See, that for me was like a spot on description for that character, the character of Mickey, because it's at one point you're just like, this guy's a joke. He's not going to train Rocky. Like, why do you keep going back to him? You got rid of your locker, but later in the film, it's twofold. It's revealed that he, quote unquote.
So I just think the story, the performances being in rare form of everybody getting nominated. It's one of those movies that how can you testify of the characters, the actors, the character development, the story? I'm really surprised that this didn't get nominated for best, or it got nominated, but he didn't win for best screenplay.
Yep.
So,
Well, I mean, okay, so it's more impressive to me that, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was one of you two who came up and said that he had sold his dog.
He sold his dog to actually to get money where he could sell the script, and then when the film was a success, he was able to buy the dog back.
Yes, and I mean that's because that kind of would have sucked to sell your dog, and this film is a complete total flop, and then you're screwed out.
And they thought it was. The
know.
studio really had no faith in it when they did the test screening, and the title actually rolls across the screen, which is actually very iconic. Thinking back on it now, they was like, "Oh, really? This is how we're going to start this movie?" And it's a boxing movie, and really.
Speaking of boxing, what do you guys think of them taking an actual boxing icon in Rocky Marciano and building a mythology, a mythical world around a real life boxer? He's the guy that Rocky Balboa looked up to.
Yeah.
I think that's smart because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of okay using this. Mike Tyson, he looked up to Muhammad Ali. So I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a real life comparison right there to a movie / real comparison or situation. And I mean, both of them guys have been in movies. Both of them guys have had movies done where they or characters were somewhat in or whatever have you. Either way, but I mean, it's kind of a badass thing to sit there and think that they put in this, because he was from Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. Like basically Rocky was Rocky Marciano in a lot of people's thoughts, just because it almost follows his entire, like, not his career, but his entire being to a big degree.
What did you guys think of the introduction of Carl Weathers? We haven't even talked about Apollo Creed yet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of the legendary actor who ended up being a great character in the movie? And he's outlandish. He's very, very colorful as far as his language, and just a positive. He's real positive, cocky, and flamboyant.
He's not in the movie that long, to be
He's
honest.
not.
With the exception of the ending fight and just here and there, he's only maybe in the movie for about 15 minutes.
And he's a really great character.
Yeah.
I'm going to say kudos, because he could have said, "No, I'm good. That script sounds like crap. Y'all don't have much back. Who are you?" I mean, he could have just been like, "No, I'm good." But he took a chance on it, and I mean, I think the chance paid off pretty
Well,
big.
this is one of his first big roles too. So.
Well, right, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, he could have just said, "No, I'm gonna try for this other. I'm good," But yeah, no, he took a shot, and it is what it is now.
Yeah. I also had it written down here. The scene where he gets done seeing himself on TV, and Adrian asks him a question. She walks him out, and he is at the gate, and in the background you see Adrian, and he says, "Remember how I told you the stuff on TV didn't bother me? Well, it did."
Mm-hmm.
The cinematography shot of her in the background and the wide shot of him, that scene right there gave me goosebumps because she's in the background, and even though he's Rocky, in that scene right there, she's his rock.
Yeah.
And he just, you see him being so tough and so awesome throughout the whole movie, but in that one glance, in that one scene, you see a little bit of emotion, of sadness from Rock.
And I think that's followed up by the scene where Mickey goes to Rocky's apartment and kind of
What
I don't know what movie I was
movie is
watching.
Rookie.
When he goes to Rock's apartment and says, like, let me be your manager, not because I know you and I know how you operate, but because I didn't get to have that chance to be like give advice and be able to train someone well, because I wanted to be in your spot and no one took me serious. But Rocky argues is like, I was there, I was trying to train you, and you just pushed me aside. And what I love about that is that I don't think I was able to finish that thought earlier, but the reason Mickey's kind of an ass to Rocky is because he
He's a bum.
well, that, and like Mickey knows Rocky is capable of being so much more than what he is, and that's what irritates him about
Rocky.
That's what Mickey's irritation is about Rocky. And I think it's a genius scene when when Rocky ultimately accepts his offer. It's a big wide shot, and the characters are far away. We don't know what is said. It's just that's all you need to know.
Yep.
So
Beautiful shot. Well thought out scene, Zach. Great conversation piece. At that point, man, though, you're just like, I'm more on Rocky's side because he's like, like you said, he's been there for 10 years, and now now that he's got a shot at the world title, now you wanna, you wanna come train me. But yeah, that's a great piece.
do you think this is, I ultimately I think later in the series with the other Rockies and especially with Creed, those are sports movies. Do you think this is a sports movie, or do you think this is a drama?
This is a drama at its finest.
Sports drama.
You get two training montages. You get the one where he eats the eggs or drinks the eggs, and then he fails, and he's kind of sore. His stomach is kind of sore, so that training montage didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then you got the second one where he's running up the stairs and he's ready to go. Then you have the fight at the end.
Yeah.
To me, like I said, this is a drama about somebody who is wanting to go the distance.
Yeah.
Whether it be in a fight, in life, in a relationship, he just wants to go the distance.
And I also think, in that scene where he says,
this is like Rudy.
Yeah,
but better.
This is true. Well, to be honest, if Rocky wasn't a success, we probably wouldn't have films like Rudy.
True.
But at the end, it's kind of, I think it's been parodied a lot, but the whole Adrian thing is, at the end of the day, that's really what he was fighting for, was not only his chance at the top of going the distance, but but just showing that he loves this woman.
That scene at the end, though, of Yo Adrian, that's the second one still.
No, he says Adrian at the end of this one.
Well, he's looking for Adrian. Adrian.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, Yo Adrian, I did it, till the second one.
Oh.
No. Because he wins the world championship at the end of 2.
Johnny's like, get it fucking right.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, these movies are forever just embedded into my mind.
I love you, sa.
There you go.
Now, since you are
bring Harry Potter,
you're welcome.
Since you are the Rocky fan, Johnny, you were talking about, you probably could have done 2 and that would have been enough, but what and maybe we'll talk about these films later throughout the year.
Definitely.
We're probably going to, but just give us your preview thoughts on the later of the films.
2, you need 2 because everybody wants to see the rematch. Everybody wants to see him finally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also get the love relationship that gets them married.
Yep. She
gets pregnant.
Yep.
So therefore the family is growing. You see kind of the goofball that he is with the money that he's getting ready to get. So 2 is important. His relationship with Mick also gets better. 3 is highly important. Spoiler alert, you lose Mick. Mick passes, and you get the iconic song of Eye of the Tiger. And Apollo Creed comes back in and trains him because Mick died. So 3 is really important to me.
Yeah.
You get Clubber Lang playing the boxer. 4
4 is very big.
4 is big. You have the death of Apollo Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Intro Ivan Drago, who was an unstoppable beast. The old Brock Lesnar looking motherfucker. 5
is the one that's hated the most.
5, but it's not terrible. And if I could explain for a minute, it would only be because it was a great story if 5 was going to be the end.
Yeah. I remember liking Rocky Balboa. I haven't seen it in forever, though.
That's 6.
Yeah. Well, I know, but, you know.
The only thing that could make 5 better is instead of the street fight brawl, is if Rocky got in the ring to fight Tommy.
Okay.
I would have liked to see that. I like the whole Don King made-up character. I think it was phenomenal. Rocky Balboa, I like the idea of an exhibition, not him going for a world championship. Dixon, though, in 6 was a world champion, correct? If I'm not mistaken, he was the world champion.
Yes.
I would have liked to see maybe the exhibition be between him and somebody else, not the guy, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Creed 1 and 2 are perfect.
Yeah. Isn't 6 the one with the computer module?
Yeah.
Where, like, they set up the idea?
It's the video game module that sets up the idea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're all important movies. Star rating, if we dig into them, I think that'll be fun to talk to you guys about. Ed, you were going to say something about 3.
Basically, with 3, he had to change up everything because he wasn't quick enough. He wasn't.
Well,
but smart enough.
That's
and
a whole.
was.
That's a whole nother deep conversation about Mick was feeding him bums instead of giving him top tier contenders.
Well, not even just that, but Mick was training him with chickens.
Well,
bums. Right, but I mean, Apollo put science back into it. He put, forgive me, but I mean, he kind of put a bit of an urban spin on him and made him quick. He made him smarter about it. He made him faster. I mean, don't get me wrong. He took him to gyms that he grew up in, and flourished in.
But
but
Mick made it to where Rocky wasn't hungry anymore.
Yeah,
kept feeding him, no name contenders. And after a while, you're gonna think your shit don't stink. You're the best of the best, and then Clubber Lang comes in, who's hungry as balls, and just completely destroys Rocky. I think knocks him out in round 2 of the first fight they had.
He's the fool.
He does, and then I think it's a great story, and it's a great monarch of a conversation. And I think I think we have to dig into 2 soon.
Yeah.
I would almost say April is I don't know.
Oh, and by the way, Happy Pie Day.
So Zach, do you have any thoughts on maybe the final round or the final fight, the fight scenes, the choreography of the actual fights? To me, I think the final fight is amazing.
Yeah, and
looks like you're watching a real boxing match.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was just kind of keeping tabs on what the time was. That fight's only like 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like the last 8 minutes of the movie. But I think that's all you need, because really that's the only boxing we get. We get it at the beginning and we get it at the end, and everything else, the rest of it is a character drama.
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliantly well played out idea for a sports movie.
Honestly, I'll tell you, most people who think they can fight like street fighters couldn't last 8 minutes in the ring with anybody, especially a professional fighter. Like
Edward watches Dr. Phil every day, bro. he knows.
Catch Me Outside sure couldn't handle that.
See?
Shit.
But yeah, I like the whole detailing of the fight, the cut, the guy cutting Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even talk about the meat scene.
He just beats up those cows, breaking the ribs. That's expensive meat.
I think that is a brilliant scene because it's, again, something new, something fresh. That, he gets free meat from his friend Paulie every morning. Why not train and
tenderize it too?
Tenderize it. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, going all the way back, even the scene where Apollo is looking for a contender, and the promoter is saying everybody who's out, big whoever that is can't do it. 6 weeks isn't enough.
Yeah.
And Apollo's like, dude, 6 weeks is plenty of time. They're just scared.
I feel like at that scene, maybe he just like opened the book. It was like that one, and it landed on Italian Stallion.
True, but that's the one who made him want to fight him was the name.
Yeah.
He didn't care what rank he was, who he was, how
Where
many
he came
losses he
from.
had. It was just the name, the Italian Stallion.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm a big sports guy, big wrestling guy. It is the name. You could look like a $10, but that name is $1 million idea, and guess what? You're gonna go pretty far with a name.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Conor Notorious McGregor. I mean, he's very well known.
The Cine-Men Movie Podcast.
Hey, we're very well known.
You know what I mean? I mean that
Hey.
name. Boy, that name. I've gotten so many pats on the back because of that name. But no, like for example, the movie is just, man, it's just like you're a Godzilla fan, like Apollo said, it sounds like a monster movie.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed versus the Italian Stallion. What do you guys think of just the name itself? Like, are you happy with the name Rocky? Do you think it should have been named something else? A lot of people don't get, could there had been any other name, or do you think Rocky 1 through 5 was plenty?
I mean, I think the name and plus the Roman numerals is fine. I do like the added end of with 6 Balboa being the last name, kind of quote like the last movie of him until we get to Creed. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it, and I think all the movies have the title going across the screen at the beginning, so at least they keep with that theme. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're wrong. Like, Rocky 2 is the direct sequel. It's not that hard to understand and follow. It's really not. So, I mean, yeah.
Is it a underrated Oscar-winning film, or would you guys almost think it's overrated? Best Picture, 1976. It was sandwiched in between One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest and Annie Hall.
I mean, truthfully, I think a lot of people, honestly, I don't think they know that this is an Oscar-winning Best Picture winner. To be honest, I mean, they know it's a great sports film. It's a great.
It's a very iconic movie.
It's a great underdog film, but I don't think a lot of people know it won Best Picture. To be honest.
It's kind of one of those that, unless you're not going to just think, oh, man, Rocky. Definitely, you're not going to think about that. It's not, in some minds, it's not an artistic film just because it's part of a boxing movie or a movie about a boxer, for that matter. No matter if it's about him training for the boxing match and then partaking in the boxing match, or if it's about him, doing like this, a drama about part of his life, getting picked for this supremely rare thing, and then going pretty much the distance with the dude and ended up losing just because of, time, really. But I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of it's a thing where those who know, but those who don't, it is underappreciated by those who don't know.
So, do you think the American Film Institute has the second best sports movie behind Raging Bull?
Dude, Raging Bull. Oh my God.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's another. And you know what? That one's based off of a real life boxer.
Yeah.
Man, Raging Bull is so good.
Movies about
and
these
this movie
boxers.
and Raging Bull came out after
1980.
Rocky.
Yeah, 1980.
So.
But it feels like one of those movies that came out before Rocky.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Raging Bull.
That's
I got
one.
goosebumps. Yeah. Big time goosebumps. Fuck Gladiator. We're not talking about it next week. Raging Bull. Dude, and Raging Bull has so many good lines.
Yeah.
Quotes upon quotes. You never got me down, Ray. You never got me down.
The choreography and the fight scenes in that movie is incredible.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Where is Raging Bull at? Is that on any kind of streaming services?
Let me look. Part of me thinks it's on HBO Max.
And Joe Pesci in that movie.
Good God.
Man.
It's on... Really?
Not?
It's on Pluto TV. Yeah, you can watch it for free on Pluto TV, but you have to pay on Apple and Amazon and all the other ones.
Man, Raging Bull, man. If anybody out there has not seen Raging Bull, I highly recommend it. It's a fun, good boxing movie. Scorsese at his finest. Zach, do you have any favorite scenes you want to name off? I mean, I know we kind of talked about the final scene. What do you guys think? Rocky, he went the distance, but unanimously decision split. Apollo Creed retains by split decision. Back in the day, even now, I haven't seen boxing in years, but I think now it's the same. If you're the world champion and you don't get knocked out, you're going to keep the belt.
Oh, a KO, TKO,
Yeah,
or
you're gonna keep the belt unless you get knocked out.
is it give up as well?
Yeah,
That
you
you
could,
lose the belt.
yeah, you can say, no mas. You can say you quit. Which is another boxing movie about what's his name? I'll think of it. But the guy who says he quit in the middle of the match. Another great boxing movie. I think it's the one played not Sugar Ray, but yeah, it's about Sugar Ray Leonard and um, Usher is in the movie. You know what movie I'm talking about, Zach?
Let me look it up real quick.
With Arma Dimas from 007 is in it.
Oh, Hands of Stone. Yeah, with
Robert De
Miles
Niro.
Teller.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. That is Edgar Ramirez and Robert De Niro's in Hands of Stone. The one with Miles Teller is about the boxer who completely got paralyzed in a car accident and then tried to make a comeback.
Bleed for This.
Bleed for This.
Yeah.
Two great boxing movies. Pretty fun movies. Excuse me. And then, what'd you think of, Rocky Went the Distance? Automatically telling the press, though, bro, no rematch. Ain't going to be no rematch. Apollo Creed doesn't want a rematch. He's just worried about getting Adrian in his arms again.
Yeah.
You guys like the ending? Cheesy, not cheesy, or just right?
I think it's just right. I mean, I think that's all you really need, to be honest.
Would you? But you think you would? In your heart, would you have been content if that was it and there was no more Rockies?
Yeah. I mean, again, that's what the sport aspect of it's not. It's the MacGuffin. It's really just about someone just trying to achieve their dream
of going the distance.
Yeah.
And the payout for him was $150,000.
Yeah.
So he got paid. He got good money out of even if he lost. So
yeah.
Ed, what'd you think of the final scene? Him holding Adrian, ain't gonna be no rematch, and the movie was over.
I mean, he got his belt right there. He got his championship. He's good.
Look at Edward, big old softy boy.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like y'all said the night before, he was like, I don't know if I can beat him. He was like, I don't know if I can go one round with him, let alone what I want to do. So I mean, to him, he won the fight because I mean, don't get me wrong. He not only went the distance, it was a split decision with the world champ. Like, don't get me wrong, that's huge for some. Forgive me, but some no-name bum, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's world class right there, literally. So
I think that even in the scene where Creed is so cocky, like I'm gonna knock him out in two. He keeps going. It's just like, okay, like I'm gonna knock him out in this round. Keep going. Knock him out in this round. Keep going.
And that's kind of the same thing. It's just that cockiness from his father.
We didn't even talk about the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The score.
Gonna Fly. I mean that.
Bill Conti.
Yeah.
But even some of the other songs like Going the Distance or The Fanfare or just. Man, I'm surprised this didn't win best soundtrack or best score.
It was nominated, yeah.
Yeah.
And talk about it something that, I mean, how many Americans really probably run the Philadelphia Steps because of this movie?
A ton now.
Not to mention the statue that was built, which is unfortunately now moved to the Philadelphia Park. It's no longer at the library. I don't know why. Whoever made the decision should just rot in hell. But the statue, huge. I mean, Rocky is for Philadelphia what, man, I would almost say before the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that was what Philadelphia was all about. I mean, you have the rich history of, the American and the United States, but when you think of Rocky, you think of Philadelphia. When you thought of Philadelphia, you thought of Rocky. At least I did.
Yeah.
But man, big time movie, big time. To me, I put Rocky in there as almost like so much of an emotional figure that I feel like he should be a real boxer. Like I think Sylvester Stallone should go in the National Boxing Hall of Fame as a celebrity wing. I'm just saying he had so much influence.
I think he is in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Okay, so in all reality, literally Sylvester Stallone is what the Ducks are to Anaheim. Because literally, explain,
please.
because the Mighty Ducks weren't a thing before the movie. Literally, that's what surged popularity for hockey in America, for that matter, as well as brought on the real life team of the Anaheim, California Ducks.
Well, you had a lot of great
You
hockey
know?
movies before that, though.
Well, no, I'm not saying you did.
Miracle,
Yeah. No, I'm not saying you did.
Slapshot.
Yeah. But I mean,
I keep going all day, bro.
there's a lot of different things that had a play on it back then with that. And that's one, that's kind of a similar thing because literally, like, America didn't give too much of a crap about hockey. It was in some people's minds, but now it's across the country, just because of that movie. I mean, no, it's
I got you. I
just-
understand. The Mighty Ducks. You're talking about the Emilio Estevez movie,
yes.
the Disney Plus. That's on Disney Plus, right?
I'm not 100% if it's on Disney Plus, but
I'm
it
sure the
should be.
original one is, yeah.
Probably, but I know, the Mighty Ducks Game Changers is on there, so that's another thing that you can check out. Definitely ain't the Mighty Ducks, but, it's a continuation of their things. Anyways.
And I was going to do another top 5, entertainment little thing that I was going to do is top 5 sports movies. I don't know if we've done that or not. So
I'm sure we have at some point.
I think
we need to do a redub of it.
A redub. But no, Ed, that's a great analyzation of bringing hockey into the picture. Is like, what, and you're right. I for sure never thought hockey was anything kind of fun or popular, and just the Mighty Ducks, the logo, the little the logo of the helmet,
Whack, kind of thing.
Almost like I really didn't give a shit or thought anything about baseball was fun until the Angels in the Outfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Either that or the what is the kid with the stretchy?
The rookie?
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
How did I know
right
that,
there.
huh? How did I know that?
I thought that was it, but I was like, I don't know if that is or not. So
if you guys need me to look up or be that dictionary for that one movie with that one guy in it, just send us a good old email at CINEMEN921@gmail.com. And we're going to get ready to get in the email bag. So if you guys have any thoughts, star ratings on Rocky, The Batman, top 5s, send them in, CINEMEN921@gmail.com.
You've probably got one of that movie in here.
I don't have The Rookie and I don't have Mighty Ducks.
Oh,
but next week,
he's about to go bargain bin hunting.
Oh, bro, that's the best. I love looking through so many bargain bin movies that your fingers get dusty.
how many
your fingers get those dust marks on them?
But like when you put your hand in there and you pick out something, you're like, oh shit! Like,
I've done that one time. I literally reached down in a bargain bin and pulled out like fucking what's that movie? The guy looks like Turbo Man, The Flash, not Flash Gordon.
oh, Flash Gordon, yeah.
I picked up Flash Gordon and it was like $4 in a Walmart bin. I was like, you know what? I don't have this. Bargain bin, random pick. I'm buying it.
Saviors of the Universe.
It's right over here somewhere. Yeah, from like the 70s, the 80s. Ted's favorite superhero. Ted, the stuffed animal.
Yeah.
That's my bad. I was sending a tweet. That sounds more like Adam Sandler. But speaking of tweets, somebody turn your fucking phone off. We're sitting here talking about Rocky. Zach, you got any favorite scenes?
Probably the date scene with Adrian. I thought was really cute. I thought it had like good. At the skating rink the ice rink was very like character building.
Edward can do that with his thumb.
And really, I mean, honestly, the conversation between Rocky and Mick of like, I want to be your manager, but you weren't there the entire time. So, yeah. What about you, Johnny? The whole damn movie.
Pretty much. But if I had some favorite scenes, it would be some of the emotional tie scenes with Paulie, where Paulie's like, "Oh, I don't get married because of you," and then Adrian just puts him in his place, and she's like, "I cook for you, I clean for you, I take care of you, I do your dirty laundry." She takes care of him. Some of those scenes just hit spot on, man. The argument, the dialogue between Rocky and Mick in the apartment, really great dialogue scenes.
There are so many times that Rocky just wants to knock Paulie out.
Yeah. And then
feed him another bum.
The scene where he tells Adrian that, you know what, I didn't like what they said about me on TV. That scene was really good. There's a lot of scenes to pick from, guys, so go check it out. HBO Max it up, Rocky. Ed, do you have any favorite scenes?
I mean, the date night, that one was pretty cool. Literally the press interview, that one was, I don't know. I like the tension build up, and Rocky trying to be the nice cool guy, the you know humble guy, and Creed kind of pissing him off. That was kind of a cool thing. Um, as well as just basically Rocky getting to beat his meat to the cowhides, basically. Flattening his knuckles on it and all that. It was kind of a badass thing.
So yeah, some great scenes, guys. Go check it out. HBO Max it up. Rocky Balboa, Rocky from 1976 is what we talked about today, and I think I like to see what everybody's star rating could be. So again, if you want to send us a star rating, CINEMEN 921 at gmail.com. Star rating, guys. Zach.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's if you include all the Rockies and the Creeds, it's definitely top two, maybe top three, depending on who you are in the whole franchise. And I think it's definitely one of the better Best Picture winners. So
it's a feel-good story for me. It turned my weekend upside down literally in just the first watch. I was having a miserable time, and if a movie can do that for me every single time, the viewing never gets old. It's a 10 for me. Ed?
I'd agree with Zach. 9 out of 10. The only reason I cut it down just a little bit is because some slow scenes. That's it. It's not really that it's a bad thing. It's just with Rocky, you expect that kind of energy, the training montages, and all that. So if you've seen it, then that's what you're expecting. You go back and watch it again, and you're kind of like, I didn't really remember some of this. Like, this is kind of dragging a little bit. And then all of a sudden it comes back, and it's like, oh, hey. But that's the only nitpick. And like I said, nitpick.
Again, guys, send us in your star rating, CINEMEN 921 at gmail.com, Cinnamon921 at gmail.com, or hit us up on the social media, facebook.com/the Cinnamon Movie Podcast. Instagram is all one word, Cinnamon Movie Podcast. And then the Twitter is at Cinnamon405. Hit us up on all counts social media as well. But now, guys, it's mail time.
Ooh, the mail's here. That means we get to see our old friend.
Lunchbox. Edward, let's get in some emails.
Lunchbox? What the hell?
So, let's see what some of the listeners have for us this week. I'm not going to read a lot. We are kind of just a little short on just our current time, so again, you guys can send us in some emails, and we will read them aloud as well. More next week. Hector says, The Batman is legitimate my new favorite movie of all time. 10 stars.
hey,
Dusty says, it's a 6 out of 10.
the Batman.
The Batman.
Oh, shit.
To me, there were parts that were great and parts that were just meh. But Pattinson is a great Batman, and the rest of the cast was great. 6 out of 10.
Well,
It's okay, Johnny.
if you actually do reply, I would love to hear what was meh or why it gone down 6 to 10. Like, that would be interesting. Nothing.
It was
no
actually
hate.
it was also actually a Facebook comment. So if you guys want to get on the Facebook, you guys can interact with Dusty as well.
Okay.
Dusty on the Facebook.
Okay.
Brian says, a fun Batman episode. I like the movie. Your episode was just as good, if not better. The Dark Knight, to me, though, is still the best Batman. So, right now, the current movie, The Batman, is at an 8 for him. So, Dark Knight is still number 1 for him.
That's respectable. Dark Knight's a very hard movie to beat.
Terry says, Rocky is always a fun watch. It's an all-time classic, perfect movie, 10 stars.
Hey.
Valerie says, watched Rocky for the first time for y'all's episode, and it was a decent watch, but not sure if I'd ever watch it again. 6 stars.
That's fair. Not everybody's,
Sam G69 says, so I watched Malcolm and Marie from the suggestion from the Real for Real podcast on your top 5 episode. Fantastic movie. Juan, I think you would really enjoy it. Very A24-ish feeling and vibes. It went straight into my top 5 of 2021.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. So he's going to watch it next week. If you say A24 vibes.
somebody could see like, oh yeah, you know what? The Power of the Dog has A24 vibes. I'm gonna check it out again. Coco Crisp says Rocky was cool, but on the watch, I don't know if it's my cup of tea. 7 stars, like Zach says, it's just fine.
There you go. Hey, it's getting there.
Sarah97 says, seen the Batman again, and wow, it honestly does get better with every time I see it.
Right.
Jeffrey says, so still not deployed yet, so that's a good thing. I'm super excited to hear your thoughts on Gladiator and The Godfather. Marge is going to be phenomenal. Rocky was a great watch for me. Rewatch, 8 stars.
Keep
There you
thinking,
go.
brother.
Sean says, I'm super excited to hear what you guys are going to do in April. If there's anything I could suggest for a movie I would like to hear y'all debate soon, it would be... What do you guys think it is?
The Princess Bride.
No.
Power of the Dog.
No. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
Okay.
So like, send in your emails, guys. Top 5 Sylvester Stallone movies. And then, you know what? We have a lot of great movies coming up. Gladiator next week. Ed, have you seen Gladiator before?
Yep, I have.
Zach?
Yep.
This will be my second time watching it. So, we were supposed to do an episode, I think, 2 years ago for the 20th anniversary. This is now the 22nd anniversary of Gladiator. Next week, March 21st, Ed, put a final nail in the coffin for Rocky, and what are you most excited about for Gladiator?
Gladiator, lots of action. Russell Crowe, simple as that, at his best. So yeah, this is Ed saying I will see you on the silver screen.
Zach, same to you, sir. What are your thoughts about Gladiator? And you know what? Final nail in the coffin for Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky, obviously, it's a great film. They're all on HBO Max, 1 through 6, so definitely go check them out. We might be doing, on the road to Creed 3, just depends on what's going on. Gladiator, I already rewatched it. It's going to be a fun conversation.
Next week, guys, Russell Crowe, Gladiator, which I believe is not on HBO Max, not on any other kind of streaming service, but you know what? The Steelbook and the Anniversary Edition came out a few years ago, so you can find it on Blu-ray and 4K for like $15-20. Go check it out. Next week, we talk Gladiator right here on the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Gladiator. Scott Hall, thoughts, prayers.